Let's talk about Airbnb. Let's talk about this hotel chain that's not a hotel chain. This company who outsources their housekeeping and their lodging, but they still make money. I love Airbnb. When I go travel, I used to be really, really skeptical of Airbnb, but I'll tell you one thing. I've never had a bad experience at an Airbnb. I've had a bad experience with the billing that comes afterward, but that's the same thing with Verbo and all of that because you really got to keep an eye on the cleaning fees and all the surcharges and the tax that the local municipalities tack onto it. But as a company, I love Airbnb. I love their motto. I love that they are empowering property owners to actually rent out their place and earn extra income. If you're thinking about doing Airbnb, check your mortgage, check your local and state and county regulations because some of them have you register as a hotel once you do an Airbnb and or demand that you register as a hotel, or they'll tack on all types of other taxes. They will demand that you have a business license. So be very, very careful if you're thinking about offering your residence as an Airbnb because homeowner association, nosy neighbors, or even the tax man might question you and you might end up owing some money or a fine. But that's just my little spew. Let's talk about Airbnb's daily range. Airbnb stock. We received this earlier in the year, a free partial share of Airbnb. So this is actually a double up on Stash's part. But Airbnb daily range for today was $1.41. $1.4103, and it made it all the way up to $1.43.20. So again, not very much of a price difference, especially when you start getting into the hundreds. Every dollar that you move up when you're in the hundreds, you are into almost a percent. This is 140. So this stock didn't really do much, just like Delta Airlines didn't do much today, and it's really just kind of on par for that. I'm sorry I didn't pull up the percentage of the daily gains or daily losses, and this one seems to be a daily gain, but that's not what I'm focused on. So the 52-week range is 121.50 and wow, 219.94. So within the last year to date, not calendar year, within the last 52 weeks, last June, this stock, somewhere between there, it went up to $219.94, which is, in my opinion, insane. I would hate to be anybody who bought it at $219 because today it could be gotten for $141.03. But at the same time, you could have got the stock at 121 cents, which is almost $20 lower than any price that we've seen today, or maybe exactly $20 at some point in the day. I didn't keep an eye on this stock. But if you look at Airbnb, it has an average volume of 8 million shares per day. And trading volume, again, was low. And we're seeing a pattern here because Delta Airlines had a low trading volume today. A lot of people aren't trading these stocks. I guess these travel stocks, these hospitality stocks, airline stocks, the hotel stocks, they're not trading them as much as they usually. So that tells you that, for one, a lot of people aren't buying right now. But then again, a lot of people aren't selling right now. So the price is stabilized, and again, you look at the beta of this stock, that will tell you the story of if this is really just a low trading volume day or if this stock just moves independently of the market. When you're valuing the stock at its current price and even at its past price, you have to look at the history and you have to dig into what the numbers tell you, not just the charts, because the charts can lie to you. But like I said, the 52-week range, the day range, you look at those, You look at your average volume, and like I said, 3 million shares compared to 8 million shares. It didn't even trade half its normal average volume today. So that might not be a bad thing. It was hands off. I mean, if you own this stock, I would be happy that a lot of people weren't rushing to sell it. I would be happy that a lot of people weren't rushing to buy it. For me, that's a perfect time to actually invest in a stock when the volatility is low. And volatility just tells you, how much the stock moves, and it can tell you volatility can be upward volatility or downward volatility. And right now, this stock is pretty much just horizontal on the day. So that's more of a micro trend. I haven't looked at the macro trend. I can't tell you what that means. Micro small, macro's big. I don't know what this stock has done over the last 5 years because honestly, I haven't looked. If I was going to invest in it and if I wasn't getting a free stock and was going to invest in it, I would definitely check that out. But anyway, market cap. This stock has a market cap of 88.383 billion. So that means that all of the outstanding shares, if you add up the price of every share of this company that is outstanding in the public hands, that is worth $88.383 billion. And that's a lot. Doing the Instagram, doing my Instagram lives, I commonly get kind of twisted up when I'm reading the stats and it's listed in millions. And it's really weird when they list a $1 billion figure and how many millions it is. That can be really tricky, but that just really lets you know how big a billion is. And me personally, when I'm just doing a live stream and I'm trying not to make any mistakes, it's hard for me to wrap my head around how big a billion is. And I know a lot of people never really just stop to think about how big a billion is, and it's a large number. So I just want you to think about that. And tonight I actually had time to prepare, and I actually pulled up the market cap in the billions. So this $88 billion company, they are big. Airbnb is getting that money. And it looks like all the regulations, all the haters, all the naysayers, all the nosy neighbors, nobody can't stop Airbnb. They getting that money. And apparently some of the people who own homes or manage the properties they're making a little bit of money. Some people are getting rich. Good for them. As a stock owner, I want to get all the Airbnb money, especially since I already got money in this company. This company has a beta of 0.66. That is, for me, insane because, like I said, beta is a measure of how volatile the stock is compared to whatever you're measuring it against, and that's generally an index. So if you were to compare it, I'm not sure what this number is based off of, but generally beta is formulated using the S&P 500. So hypothetically, if you were to compare this stock to how volatile the S&P 500 is, this stock is less volatile than the S&P 500. And we compare that to our earlier stock of the day, Delta, which had a beta of 1.43. This one is at 0.66. That is insanely low. If I was choosing between these two companies, using these metrics, just using beta alone, I would go with the one who has the lower beta, which is Airbnb, especially since as far as market cap goes, Airbnb is has larger market capitalization, which is really kind of weird when you look at a hotel chain that doesn't own hotels, who has $88 billion market cap, versus Delta Airline, who has been operating forever, and they only have a market cap of 26.317 billion, 26 billion versus 88 billion for Airbnb. That's crazy. And that just shows you the scale of Airbnb. They don't have that overhead. They don't have buildings that they have to manage. They don't have all that crazy stuff that, Delta Airline, they actually own physical planes. They have to hire pilots. They have to hire flight attendants. They have to hire, mechanics. They have to negotiate contracts with airlines. Airbnb don't have none of that. They offer a service, and their service is somebody else's home. I love Airbnb. It's almost like they print money. But It's not one of my favorite investments, but just the idea that we can have a company like Airbnb, or that we can have a cab company like Uber who doesn't actually own cabs or operate cabs, like, that's insane to think about. What a time to be alive.